Hello and welcome to In Conversation with Alec Guinness, John Gielgud, Marlon Brando, Jimmy Dean, Nasiruddin Shah, Chachi number 420, and all of them rolled into one, Kamal Haasan.
Thank you.
Was this an accurate description?
No, I think I'm overrated, but I like it.
You drove to this place yourself?
Yeah, I usually don't drive because it takes away my time, which I could read or make phone calls, which I usually do. But today my driver was unwell. He's been having a fever, so I drove.
No, but supposing there was an accident, God forbid, you would have created a traffic jam, the mother of all traffic jams in the city of Madras, because you would be mobbed.
Yes, they'll be kind. I mean, anybody who gets into an accident would love to be mobbed and attended to quickly. So that way, I think in Madras, if there is an accident, anybody will get mobbed. They'll run to their help, I'm sure. So there'll be a little more of a help because it's a celebrity, any celebrity. But then accidents that would come as the 35th or 36th accident in my life.
Really?
Yeah, that's a number of bones I've broken in my body.
Why?
About 32 bones.
Doing stunts or doing...
Sometimes during stunts, sometimes during strange accidents.
Give me the worst accident that you had horseback.
I think the worst one is during a film shoot. It was truly an accident where an atmosphere car wasn't looking at me but was trying to adjust his...
Atmosphere?
Atmosphere car.
Car,
he was looking at the camera and driving to align himself with the camera, to drive close to the camera. He forgot about me and clipped me from behind at about 35, 40 kilometers.
And what happened?
Broken tibia, femur, dislocated hip, dislocated jaw, small skull fractures, smashed nose.
God.
Everything in one.
Really? Did you sack the driver?
No, he was an atmosphere driver and he was scared and he was not supposed to do all this. He's not a stunt driver. So it's not.
You are such a remarkable actor. I'm not saying this because I'm interviewing you. I have not seen all your films, but whatever I have seen, I think that your versatility is enormous. But every actor in Tamil Nadu and in also Telugu film stars, they tend to gravitate towards politics.
Yeah.
Politics. You have been on the margins. When are you going to take the leap?
I think everybody is a politician. At one time when Gandhiji called, the clarion call for the nation came out, everybody was a politician. They wanted freedom, they asked for it. So that way, yes, I'm a politician, but that need not be asking for votes and adding more sound pollution to the parliament. I don't think that's how I would like to serve my country. By paying my taxes, which I do, I've been more than once lauded for zero tax arrears as an actor. I take pride in that, and I think that's my statement, political statement to the country, that you pay your taxes, you can complain about the roads. Till then, don't. Don't talk about the corruption in the government. Don't talk about a corrupt chief minister, prime minister, minister, official, anybody. You have no right to do that till you at least pay your taxes. I do.
Did you read the front page of newspapers? There's a thing called WikiLeaks,
Yes.
in which the Hindu has a banner headline saying, in the south, and Tamil Nadu leads the way, paying money for elections is the done thing. And now the rates have gone up from 500 to 5,000. in which case I want to be a voter in Tamil Nadu.
That's so unfortunate. But I would say that the leak has been from one side of the drum. India is a very big drum. And I think WikiLeaks, if the gentleman in concern now, the US personnel official, Consul General, if he
Did you know him?
Yeah.
Who was it?
I think it's Mr. Kaplan or somebody. No, that's here now.
Yes.
But I don't know. But if he had to report about Bihar, Maharashtra, Bengal, or any of the states in India, it would be the same. You cannot say that these kind of things don't happen. It might happen in various scales. Now, if you're looking for a championship league, probably you'll find it in Tamil Nadu. I don't know. I'm not taking pride. This is one thing where we can't be proud about. But it is the state of the nation. That it's unfortunate.
Yeah, I don't think we should dwell too long on that, because the Election Commission in its report believes that Kerala, Tamil Nadu, I thought that these, I have a great affinity for the South. I have worked here, as you know, I worked in Indian Express. I gave you an award, in fact, as editor of the paper in the old Madras Club, which I can't recognize now because it has become into a huge shopping mall. I love the place. I love the low key, and I love people are polite, and sometimes I have a difficulty with the language, and yet I'm amazed at the volume of this corruption that has come up in electoral politics.
See, the most humble humility that you can find is Japan, where they bow before you, and you're sort of embarrassed into importance. That's the same place where karate and the Okinawa weaponry excels. I mean, physical combat also, the offensive, defensive.
Sumo wrestlers.
The samurai, the sumo wrestlers, all come from the same culture, which also knows how to show humility. Yeah. So you can never decide by the facade.
Yeah. I know. No, Kerala is also counted among them, because there are lots of money coming in from him.
That's what I'm saying. You cannot, at least there should be, unfortunately, there is unity in this diversity. All of them are corrupt.
Right. Now that, in fact, I believe that the actors who wanted to get into politics may have been left high and dry by Amma, by not being given any seats whatsoever.
That's one thing truly I won't understand. It's like talking to you about, hopefully, talking to you about gymnastics, or that's one game I don't truly understand, or wouldn't like to understand also. I know social service, and that's how I think I look at the uses of politics for that purpose. Anything else is the nitty-gritty that I don't want to get into.
Tell me, why do I have the suspicion that you are going to remake Casablanca in Tamil?
No, it's a nice suspicion. I'd like to live up to that suspicion. But no, that's not what.
You know how I say that? Because I was sitting in your office and I saw a copy of Casablanca.
Oh, I have a lot of these classic. I consider cinema scripts as literature.
Tell me three of the greatest films you've seen ever.
It's unfair to yeah, because I've seen some great films. What affected me most, I can say, because of my early knowledge of cinema was very, very limited as compared to now. And a film that made, apart from the Tamil films, which really did impress me, as I always say, that the sun in my horizon was Shivaji Saab.
Shivaji Ganesan?
Yes.
Really?
He was the international actor I knew in my horizon. Then only I came to hear of Yusuf Saab. And then through them...
Yusuf Saab, you mean Dilip Kumar?
Yes. Mr. Dilip Kumar. And it's only through his translations that I was able to understand the international language of acting. And then, of course, Brando became staple diet for people like me. And then Zubulski and various other people. I was more a fan of the Western kind of acting, Orson Welles, stylized Orson Welles. And but the film that really...
You mean Citizen Kane?
Yes, Citizen Kane.
Huh?
Yes. Citizen
Yes.
Rosebud of Citizen Kane. And for me, the film that made the most impact, I would say, in my teens, when I was an assistant director, was a film called Spartacus.
Spartacus,
Produced by the protagonist, who played the man who played the protagonist, Kirk Douglas.
Yes.
And he was a producer, and written by one of my favorite writers, Dalton Trumbo, who, thanks to Mr. McCarthy, he was blacklisted.
During the witch hunt.
Witch hunt.
The communist witch hunt.
He was one of those great writers who were put on the stage.
Elia Kazan, with Charlie Chaplin.
Yes.
All
But
these
this
people.
one, it was equal loss as Mr. Chaplin. And he had to write under a pseudonym. And Spartacus was the first film where he came out of this, what he call a democratic closet. Again, and came out and wrote the script.
What was it about Spartacus that you...
I don't know, really. I think it crafted my, not only my art, my thinking, my politics, everything changed with that film. It's probably around the time when I was ready for a change in my...
Your most
life.
impressionistic years.
Impressionistic years, perhaps. And so that was a film that keeps repeating in my...
Where does it figure in your cinema? Where is
Many
the
of my
echo of
films,
Spartacus?
many of my films, especially, you'll find mention of Spartacus in a film called Anbe Shivam, where I play street theater propagandist like Mr. Safdar Hazmi.
Safdar Hashmi. How on earth did you know about Safdar Hashmi? On that, we shall take a short break, and we shall resume in conversation. Hello and welcome back to In Conversation with Kamal Haasan, the star of stars. Kamal, welcome back. You were talking about Safdar Hashmi. You mentioned the McCarthy years. You mentioned Charlie Chaplin. You mentioned Safdar Hashmi. Can one suspect that your heart is to the left of center?
My heart is in the left. So that's not a political phenomenon, but a practical state of affairs. It is in the left, and but that doesn't mean. I mean, I strongly believe that no ism is complete. It's work in progress. So, but I like this.
You know these makeups that you do, phenomenal. Who is your makeup artist?
Well, there were early Indian makeup artists, including
Chachi 420. Who did it for you?
that was Michael Westmore. Mr. Sarosh Modi was the first man, thanks to him, he was Haribhai's, that is Mr. Sanjeev Kumar's makeup man. So I went to him and said, I liked Haribhai's makeup a lot. Another great actor I used to love a lot.
Sanjeev Kumar.
Sanjeev Kumar.
He was a very good actor.
Yeah. So I had access to him. I was able to talk to him, which I consider a great opportunity. As much as, and he's a fan of Shivaji Sahib. So it made, we were part of a club. So we had a lot to talk about. And so Mr. Sarosh Modi put me on to who he considered to be a makeup man he respects, Mr. Michael Westmore. So I went there.
He is now in
US.
In
He's,
the US.
he's retired now, but he will come out of retirement anytime for me. That's the kind of relationship we have. I learned a lot from Mr. Michael Westmore. They belong to a family of makeup artists. His father, uncle, all of them worked for Hitchcock, Kirk Douglas, and various. And he himself was a personal makeup man for Elizabeth Taylor, and recently for Sylvester Stallone. All of the Rocky films, that Solon Eye and all, was done by Michael Westmore. And till Dasavtaram, he's been. Dasavtaram was almost done out of retirement, from my side.
this film that you have Moreya Nayagam.
Mardanayakam. No, this is this film. I mean, this photograph is from a film called Virumandi.
Yes, Virumandi.
Mardanayakam is another film. It's a period film. It's about
The British.
The British, and for me, it's a great statement to make.
In Sivaganga, these two Tevar brothers who
No, that is Marudu Sahodara, the Marudu brothers. No, this is about Mardanayakam. I have solid evidence, historical evidence, to say that the first Sepoy mutiny happened 100 years before it was recorded, 1857, in South India, led by a Tamil-speaking Tamilian who also spoke Urdu.
1757.
1757, he was already rebelling. There's a book by the name of
Fort St. George had not yet been.
Yes, no,
Fort St. George was there.
Fort St. George was there, and he was probably the last commander of sepoys. It's not one sepoy mutiny. The commander of sepoy mutinied.
Kamal, now tell me, you are saying that you have incontrovertible evidence that the great uprising of 1857 actually happened 100 years earlier in Chennai.
In Madurai, in Chennai, in Chennai, and he, by virtue of him being the commander of sepoys, it truly becomes a sepoy mutiny.
Really?
It's not just a sepoy; it's a commander mutinying. There was one Venkatachalam before him, but this was a solid mutiny, and we tried to equate the amount spent as well as sterling pound is equal to Desert Storm that really? US spent on
Operation Desert Storm in
1991. So the amount spent £1 million sterling in those days.
A pity that there's no room here. Otherwise, one would have asked you to do a little jig in Bharatnatyam. Where did you learn that?
This very place where we're sitting and talking, this was where my first classroom, dedicated classroom started. But I lived in an environment of art. My father was a great connoisseur. He himself was not an artist, he was an advocate, he was a lawyer. And so he wanted all his children to learn, and my eldest brothers, I was born late, in his 50s I was born. So I grew up with the sound of Bharatanatyam in my ears. My sister is a classical dancer still and is a teacher in Bombay. So
you heard of Bharatanatyam when Bala Saraswati was around?
Yes.
Really?
I was a child when she was around, and I had a great Gauri Ammal come to our house to teach my sister, and I will sit for half an hour and doze off, and she'll sort of make me sleep in her lap, and used to give beat to her singing on my face. So it was both a lullaby and training for my sister. I remember those days fondly. And I was surrounded by artists, and my family who were supportive of what I was doing. You could almost hear us singing. You'll be talking Pidgeotos and Bernard Shaw.
And you can sing?
Yes, I can.
Like
I learned, just to slur the name of Mr. Balamurali Krishna, I learned from him for 2 years.
Can you give me a brief passage of any one of the kritis that he sung?
He taught me something, which for me it's when I got my first national award, he called me and said, when are you going for your national award? I said, 2 days. So let me teach you little Geetam. It's a small.
What was it?
It's called. It's a strange rag called Karnatakapi. Karnatakapi. So the Arohan goes like Kalyani. Sarigama Vadani Sa Sani Vadani Pama Rigarisa. It goes like that.
This becomes. This then
becomes a
Chaya Nut in or some other rag.
I don't know about
the North Indian rag.
So it is. This was the rag in which he. Sri Raghurama Samara Bhima Sashimauli Vinuta Sita Ramana. It goes like that.
Fantastic. So you are, and are you content with your, or you would be doing, you'd want to dance, you want to sing, you want to, except politics, there is so much more. There is so much space in your heart to do things.
Yes.
What is your next project?
My next project is a film called Vishwarupam, which I'm writing also. So directed by Mr. Shelvaraghavan, very young and energetic director. So
Rani Mukherjee acted with you in which
Hey
one?
Ram. Hey Ram.
Hey Ram. Why did Hey Ram create such a controversy?
I really don't understand, because there was a congresswoman, I think, or I don't know who, they thought it was an anti-Gandhi film.
Anti-Gandhi film?
Yeah, so that's what they said, it should be banned, even before the film was released. So that's the first publicity that the film got. In a way, it is like a Mark Antony speech about Caesar.
Huh?
It starts on a reverse note and ends as a eulogy for the man. I'm a fan of Mr. M.K. Gandhi. If you have noticed, I don't say the word Mahatma. So that's how much of a fan I am.
So Hey Ram, people thought was actually, and there was another controversy, the controversial film that which.
Oh, name it and I get into it. Yeah, like this one, Virumandi, was first called Chandiar. Chandiar in Tamil means bully. So there was one.
That's the bully.
That's a bully. So
now, can you try and bully me?
I think.
An expression of a bully.
No, no. I think we are already at it, doing it to each other. Yeah. No, the thing is, this film Chandiar is actually, it's about somebody who's is a taunt, is a bully. That's a word. And suddenly some politician was looking for a vehicle for political transport, found this to be a good thing. He said this is a high caste sort of insult towards the Dalits or whatever. He suddenly came, I don't know what hit me. And he said Chandiar should be, the name should be taken away. So I said, how does Chandiar become casteist? No, he changed the name and there was a big furor. And I ultimately had to give in and I changed the name to Virumandi. And these are people who are looking for, when it's election time, they're looking for seats, clamoring for seats. When it's non-election time, they take a ride on any mule that is available. And I ended up being that donkey.
Is there, you think, freedom of speech is threatened in India?
Absolutely.
Freedom of speech is threatened?
Yes.
On that negative note, thank you very much, Kamal.